Take a quick look at my computer and racing rig setup. It's an abomination really. It's a racing rig with triple screens, a single screen, two separate mice and keyboards and a normal office chair all running from one PC. Up until quite recently I used to race with my G29 or Fanatec CSL on my desk, and my pedals were sat on the floor underneath, just like many people do out there today. Because when I'm not racing I need a normal desk for my day-to-day work and for other types of games, and if I have a rig that's dedicated to that, I would lose that. So I didn't want to lose that functionality by switching my setup to a rig. But I couldn't stomach buying another PC just to run a separate racing rig off to the side either, and nor do I really have the space, and it seems wasteful. So I set about figuring out how I could have both a normal desk and a racing rig with what I've got to hand. So here's everything that I've ended up with, and we'll run down the list, but first and foremost we've got the Omega ART rig, which I bought second hand, which included the seat. I've got 3 standard 84Hz Philips 24-inch monitors fixed to a triple monitor mount from Amazon. The weirdest part of this is that I've mounted this to my desk facing backwards, as you can see here. The Fanatec CSL Elite wheelbase is right there with my Formula V2 rim attached with the button cap and sticker set to customise it. Underneath I've got my Club Sport V3 pedals fixed to a custom made wooden jig, because the bloke this rig came from didn't actually have the pedal plate with it somehow, so I had to make one from wood. These pedals do have the optional brake performance kit fitted inside the brake pedal, and on the throttle I use the optional pedal damper seen here. I love the firmness that the BPK gives the brake pedal, and for the throttle I find that the pedal damper makes a big difference to the throttle stability. I certainly prefer the throttle with the damper than without it. On the top of the monitor mount is a Samsung Galaxy Tab A, fixed by a tablet holder clamped to the top of the pole, which is a new addition to show me more info via a dashboard app rather than using my phone. The rig itself is placed on an insulating floor mat to reduce noise. Now the desk itself is an IKEA Galant desk, which you might not be able to get anymore, but it's a real sturdy thing and has height adjustable legs too. Everything you've seen here can be bought via the links in the description. I know it's handy to have links essentially describing what I've got, so I've put them there in the description for you to follow. And now for a quick demo of how it all actually works in practice. When I'm working or browsing at the normal side of a desk, all I've got to do to jump over to the racing rig side is switch my monitor outputs by using the Windows key and P together to switch from PC screen only to second screen only. This switches my PC's video output away from a single screen and over to the triples, just like you would if you were using a projector on a laptop. It's that simple. Once that's done, I just take myself and my keyboard headphones around to the other side and take a seat at my rig. On this side I pick up my separate wireless mouse and keyboard to control the PC, and although there's still a cabled mouse and keyboard plugged into the PC on the other side, it still works fine as I'm only using one set at a time. Then all I've got to do is fire up whatever racing game I want from there, and it'll open up on the triple screens, no problem. When I'm done with racing, to switch back to the desk side, I just use the Windows key and P combination to switch back to PC screen only, and then take a seat back at the desk. It's as easy as that, and I've been running it this way for months with basically no issues. To do this, it requires 4 screens being plugged into the PC. Now my graphics card is a Nvidia RTX 2080, which has got 4 video outputs on the back. Nvidia also has a tool called Nvidia Surround, which essentially treats all 3 screens on the rig side as one big unified widescreen rather than 3 separate displays. Without the use of Nvidia Surround, I don't know if this technique would really work, as effectively my PC is being told that I've only got 2 screens. Now, some important considerations to be made here, because this monstrosity is far from optimized. As you've seen, I don't have a standalone triple monitor stand like this. I use a standard triple monitor mount attached to the back of the desk, facing the wrong way. The good thing is that there's no physical contact between the rig and the desk, which is important to prevent screen wobble when you're steering hard or experiencing force feedback. Regardless, the point is that doing this is so not what the manufacturer recommends, and if I had a bigger, heavier screen setup, I'd be buying a monitor stand. It's just the sensible thing to do. It also helps that these screens are normal run-of-the-mill workstation monitors, and they don't cost a lot. If I had expensive gaming monitors, you bet I wouldn't be bodging it like this in case one day it goes horribly wrong. Be smart, just get a standalone triple monitor stand from one of the mainstream cockpit manufacturers. Another thing you would have noticed, if you look hard enough, is that I don't have a vast amount of legroom under this desk, but that would easily be cured by buying a monitor frame like I just said. My rig and desk are this close purely because I've tacked it onto the back of the desk that I'm using. I'm too tight to buy one just yet. One day I'll get around to it. So that is my rig / work desk, all running from one PC. If you're a desk racer and you've been having an eye on a cockpit or a rig, but you want to run it off one PC, that's how I've done it. Doing this allowed me to finally start using a racing cockpit without losing my desk for general usage, browsing and other games. And I hope this inspires you to do something similar maybe. Remember to check the video description for direct links to all the bits and bobs that make my setup work, and you can probably do a lot better than I can. I've listed everything I possibly can in the links in the description, and most of them are affiliate links, meaning if you do use them, it supports me monetarily quite a bit, and thanks so much to everybody who's been using the links from previous videos. Believe me when I say it's paving the way for some interesting stuff in future. If I've been helpful to you, then please do subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions for myself or anybody else who might have clicked on this video that might be thinking of doing the same thing. You guys have got a lot of collective knowledge between you, and I'm bound to read something in the comments that I just didn't know before. Thanks again.